Hi guys, welcome to my ICT Hub. This is John, your ICT tutor, where we make ICT concepts easier. Alright, today we want to look at another aspect of IGCSE ICT, which is web authoring. Now we'll be looking at IGCSE ICT 0417, February March 2024, paper 3.1. In this particular paper, we actually have two practicals that you're supposed to go through, that is spreadsheets and website authoring. I have another video where I had solved the spreadsheet, and we will solve the spreadsheet. For this, we are looking at website authoring. So if you have issues with this, you can focus on website authoring. And if you need to find out about the spreadsheet, please feel free to go ahead and watch the video on the spreadsheets. And lastly, before we continue, if you like what you're going to see, please do subscribe to my channel, hit the like button and the bell so that whenever I drop a video, you will be alerted. All right, that being done, if you're ready, I'm ready. Let's get into the question. Okay, here we have our paper, Information and Communication Technology, paper 3.1. Like I said, it's a paper covering spreadsheets and website authoring. Today we're going to start with the website authoring in this video. I'm going to drop the link to the question in my description below and the source files that are going to be used. All right, let's start with the question. First question that says, you have been supplied with the following source files. Here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 files. So let's quickly confirm from our source files. Okay, there you are. We also have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So all source files are complete. Next thing on the first task, evidence document, where we always show evidence of what you have done so that your graders or your scorers can actually be able to have a true evidence of the fact that you did what you said you did. All right, so this is very important. It says create a new word processed document. So let's open my Word document. Okay, and that being done, it says while that is opening, make sure your name, center number, and candidate number will appear on every page on this document. So to do that, like we know, it's either you put it in your header or in your footer. I want to put mine in the header. Either you go through your insert and pick the header, or you just double click above the margin. I like mine to be aligned to the right, so let's go with the name John. I have my center number, C1234, and my number 0001. Okay, I haven't done that. Double click on the page and I think I'm ready. Now we start. It says save the document in your work area with M2 evidence followed by your center number. Okay, I want to save that. Go to your save as, browse. Okay, in my work area, so I'm going to go to my desktop, the source file. Okay, here I am in my work area, evidence 0001. Okay, and that is saved just as instructed. Okay, now let's move on. It says followed by a center number, which we have done. So you will use these evidence documents, yes, like we know, during the examination. Task 2, this has to do with image editing and file management. Create a new folder called this, and we're going to create it in the same folder that we have our source files. So let me create a new folder. To create a new folder, I just use the shortcut Ctrl-Shift-N, or you right click, just right click anywhere in the blank area there, and you could go to your new, go to new, and you could just click on folder and the same thing will be done. Okay, now I want to rename this. Okay, to rename that, let's just go to properties, and I want to give it the name. Right, now that is done, it's been renamed. Let's go to the question. It says open the file as this image.png. Now let's locate that file. It's a PNG file. Here we have the image. Okay, here we have it right here. This will be a balloon file, I guess, because I've seen something like that. Can you see with me? Okay, here we have the PNG file here. This is the one we need. All right, let's take out the zoom. Okay, this is the file we want to edit. Very well. Now what are we to do? So reflect or flip this image horizontally so that the balloon is on the left of the image. Yes, we want this balloon, which is on the right, to be at the left of the image. Now I'm opening this with my photos. I'm using a Microsoft system. That's a Windows system, Windows 11. So I want to flip this just with the photos. Let me just close this and show you back again the app I'm using. Right click, open with, okay, there we have the photos. This is it, right? So that's what I'm using. Photos app is a utility app that comes with Microsoft Office operating system. Now how do I flip? If you click on edit here, and then you come below here, we have flip horizontally and we have flip vertically. So we click on the flip here. If you want to crop or you want to do other things, you want to resize the image, you could also do that with this tool. It's a very good, effective image editing application. So let's go back. Now I've flipped that. Save this image, this new image, in your M21 folder with the name balloon. Okay, so we want to save it with that name in a format suitable for what? Your web page. So the format suitable is going to be the PNG. So we want to save this image. You click down and not save, because if you save, you're going to be overwriting the file. But I want to save a copy. So you're going to ask me where I want to save it. So I'll be going up, sorry, to my desktop. Okay, sorry, no. Source files. Yes, paper 3 source files. Yes, I want to go into the space and I want to save it with that file name balloon. Good. Now that has been saved. Let's go back to the question. It says locate only the following files and store them in your M2 folder. Okay, so let's locate the files. Let me close this. I think I'm done with this. Okay, now I want to locate the files. We have the banner, we have text, and we have video. All right, this is the video. Do you want me to go closer so you could see what I'm doing? Let me zoom in a little. This is video. We have the banner and we have text. Those are the three files. So I want to copy them and I want to place them in my folder here. Okay, that's done. So let's take off the zoom, go back to the question. It says display the contents of your folder. That's the March 24 folder. Here we have the March 24 folder. Okay. Now, what do we want to display? It says showing the folder name. That's one. Second thing is all the file names. Two. The third one is file extension. It's very important you take note of these different things that you are told to show in your evidence file and make sure that every one of them is actually being visible, is actually visible for your scorers to see. So we said the folder name, the file names, the file extension, the file sizes, now for image dimensions, and the frame height and frame width for the video. Now let's go back. I always advise when you want to do this, use the view and pick on contents. Now this view is a very good view that displays all of those content. Let's take a look at it. Can we see the file name? Yes, we can see the file names. Can we see the folder name? This is the folder name, March 24. We have the file extensions displayed. What else are we told? We've seen the file name, file extension, the file size. Now for the files, we can see the file size. Okay. Can we see the file size? Yes, that's it. And the next thing is image dimensions. For images, here we can see a dimension for the image. You can see another image here. This is the dimension that is divisible. And then the frame height and frame width for the video. So we have a video here. This is the frame height, the frame width, size of all files are visible. Then we also have the different file names, file extension. I think this view does perfectly. But if you don't have this view, you want to use the details view, because some of us, if there are other things that are not contained here and you actually want, you can come to the details view, just right click on the bar here, click on more, and you can scroll down to add any other feature you are told to display or to display in your evidence document. But since we can actually get that from our content view, okay, here it is. So let's take a screenshot of that. I want to take a screenshot of that. Okay, now I must ensure that my folder name is visible. Okay, yes, folder name, and every other detail Good, that's a full screenshot. Let's go to my Word document. That's going to be evidence 1. Okay, yes, and that is pasted. Folder name, all file names and extension, file sizes, frame height, frame width. Then we have the file sizes. Okay, everything has been covered. So we can move on with the question. And the next question now says, okay, take a screenshot, yes, and paste that in your evidence documents. Making sure that the required information, like I said, please take note of all the information that are required and ensure that they are visible. Required information is clearly visible. Place in your evidence documents. All right, so let's move on. Having done that, now we have task 3. That's the web page. Now this is the website authoring proper. So create a web page called sbs.htm. Okay, and save in your March 24 folder. Here I'm going to be using Microsoft Expression. There are different editors out there. In the past, I've used Sublime Text, I've used VS Code, I've also used Dreamweaver. But I think right now I'm using Expression because it's kind of easier. It gives you that feel, that interface like you are in the Microsoft Office Word. A number of tools are quite easy to read. Though not every feature is perfect. But nevertheless, I will go through this class or go through this tutorial. We are going to see how we can make it easier. Use this application to actually make the ICT concepts easy. So here I am. I've opened my VS Code. This is a new page. So I want to save this. So we'll go to File. And let's go as Save As. Okay. Now in our folder, the folder is found in the desktop. Okay. Going to my March. Okay, there you are. I want to put that, remember, with the file name htm, and let's save it. Okay, now once that is saved in this interface here, you can actually split it so you can see both the code view and the display view. To start with, for the web expression, in the web expression view, I want to try and reduce this so we can see a little bit more of so we can see more of the code. For the code view, there are some aspects that are not required, but nevertheless, in IGCSE, you do not have a negative marking. Basically, the teachers or the graders want to see your ability to be able to do what the question requires you to do. You are not marked negatively for what you did not do. Now you're going to get an extra mark for doing what you are not told to do. But nevertheless, it's always better if you can have a better interface because other applications will not come with this. So we want to take away this aspect just so that you could see me. For those of you using mobile devices, permit me to zoom in again so you see what I want you to take out. Okay, now this should actually start from HTML. So anything from here, you want to take it out. Okay, then this other file here to the same thing. You don't need this. You want to take that out. Okay. Lastly, for this meta tag, so there are some questions, some past questions which I have solved my students in the past. We have had situations where IGCSE asked about the meta tag. So whether you leave it there or you take it out, you are not being penalized for it. So you might want to leave it there. We have the doc type, we have the HTML opening and closing tag, we have the head opening and closing tag, the body opening and closing tag. Okay, you can see the closing tag for HTML. So I think this is just sufficient enough. So let's start out with this. Let's take out the zoom. Let's go back to the question. Yes, now it says the web page must be created using a single table and work in all browsers. Now once what we have done right now, it's gonna work in all browsers. That's declaring this HTML, and here we have this. So this is sufficient for that. Now the next thing now says the table must fit what? 90% of the browser, a browser window, beg your pardon, and have a structure as shown in the diagram. Okay, now take note, it says 90% of the browser window. Please have that in mind. And then we also have the structure. Now, one good way to be able to know your structure or how to get the number of tables, the rows and columns before you start merging is just to fill up every line you see. So let's just do something like this. Extend the table. That way, okay, that way we can know how many rows we have. 1, 2, 3, 4 rows, and we have 2 columns. So it's going to be a 4x2 column table. Okay, so let's go quickly to create the structure. So let's move over to Microsoft Expression. All right, how do we create that structure? Just go to your table. Since we are trying to get a table, let's use the table. Sorry. Okay, I want to go to my table, insert table. Now, here is where you determine the number of rows and columns. Remember, we said it's 4 rows and 2 columns. Okay, now is the height of the table given? No. But remember, we said it should fill 70% of the window. So we want to come here to say, sorry, 90%, not 70%. That's the width. It should be 90. Make sure you select percentage, not in pixels. 90% of the entire, what's it called, of the entire window. Okay, once we've done that, we have 4 by 2. Okay, we can just go ahead and let's create that. Here we have our table created. You can see we have 4 rows and we have 2 columns. But remember, when we looked at our diagram here, sorry, the structure, this first particular column is merged and we were given a width of 30%. Okay, so let's highlight, just like you in MS Word, highlight this part of these cells. Want to right click and you want to go to modify, and then modify, you want to select merge cells, and just that is done. Then you now want to move further. So let's look at the cell properties. If you look at in the structure of the table, it says give us a width of 30%, width of 30%. Okay, so width of 30%. Let's go back, and now in the cell properties we want to specify the width, so you turn this on, 30 in percent. We are not given the height, so we don't want to do anything about the height there. We apply, and okay, that is done. That's the first one. Second one, we have a width of 70%. Let's go to the next cell and to right click, and you want to go to the cell properties, not the table now. Turn on the width of 70%. Okay, in percent, take notes, don't leave it in. So we have it in percent, we apply that and go ahead. The next one, we have height of 10 and 15. So see here we have the height of 10. If you go to cell properties, we want to go to the height this time. So the height is 10%. Apply that. And here to the next cell, we have height of 15%. Go to cell properties, and turn on the height. Height is going to be for 15%. Beautifully done. Apply, and okay. That's about it for that structure. Now let's read what we have here. It says each table cell is identified with a letter. Some dimensions are shown. Do not set the height of B and E, and we didn't do that. B and E, we did not set any height. We didn't even set any width for E either. Now, table borders must appear in the final web page. Now, to do this, there's an attribute. Those of you, it's just borders. So if you want to go here, you might want to say table properties. Okay, and turn on the border, but I don't kind of like, let me show you an expression of what it does. It doesn't usually give us the exact thing we want. If you apply that, take a look at this. And the attributes border should be added to the table, but instead it's something else that is a style that is done, so I don't advise you do that. Rather, what I say is just try and get the attribute of border. Let's go close to the table tag. We have a 90%. Just want to get the attribute border. Set it to 1. Okay. Yes, and that is done. Then we can save it. Okay, let me go out. Now let's take a look at it and see what it's going to look like. Let's open it up. Let's double click that to see. Okay, here we have our table. Okay, we have it. It's beginning. Fine. So let's move on. Next question, sorry. Now it says cell contents must show in the diagram. So the cell contents shown in the diagram must not appear on the final web page. That means this alphabet A, B, C, D, E should not appear. Well, we've taken note of that. It's not going to appear. The borders, like we have seen here, the borders are visible. Okay, and it's having 90% You can see the space, 90% of the window. So we are good to go. Let's go to the next question. It says, set the title of the web page to this. Now the title is a tag in the head section. If we go to the title, now this is only displaying the body section. All what we see here is just the body, so we have to come to the codes here, try and locate where you have the title. Or for those of you using mobile devices, let me go closer so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, you want to highlight only this in between those brackets, and I want to paste that there. So just make sure you do not distort the tags. Just replace where you have the title and you can save. Now let's go back. Let's take a look at that. The next one says, if we want to refresh it to see, let's refresh that window. Okay, now you can see the title on the tab. So it's been affected. The title has been affected there. So let's go back to our question. And the next thing says, place in cell. Now I want to begin to add content into the different cells. The first one says, in cell A, where we had A, we want to place the image balloon, which was saved in step 1, so that it fits the width of the cell. Take note of this. When it says fits the width, it's not actually giving you a particular width, but this statement fits the width means the image, when you insert the image, it should be able to expand to fit the whole width of that cell. So whatever the width of the cell is, the image should expand, maintaining its aspect ratio to ensure it fills that aspect and fitting the width of that table. So take note, when IGCSE says this, they actually expect you to do something which I'm going to show you what to do. All right, so let's go back to expression. Now on this part, we want to insert an image. So go to insert. Okay, we go to insert. We want to insert a picture from a file. Okay, yes, this is a file. All right, so I'm going to insert this balloon picture. I'm going to ask for the alternative name. If you look at the next question, says add appropriate alternative text to both still images that you're inserting. So for me, I just want to go with balloon as the name says. So let's just go with balloon. Okay, if you can see what I'm doing, take a closer look at that balloon. And we'll say okay. Now the image is in there. But before I leave there, I would like you to also take a note that it says the width should fit, right? So I want to edit that image width. Means that, let's go closer. You should adjust the width to make sure that it fits. It should just be exactly the width. Okay. Please pardon me, it's like this image has been picked from the wrong place. Let's take a look at the image again. Let's insert that image again. Picture, let me ensure it's coming from the correct file. Desktop, because it should be a relative referencing, not an absolute referencing. And you should just pick the name of the file. Okay, there we have balloon. Better. So now I know it's picking from the right place. And the width should be 100%. So you might want to edit the image. I double clicked on that. Come here, and you want to ensure that the width is 100%. That's what the meaning of fits in there. And here we don't want to do anything, just leave it percent. Okay, I'll take a look at that. Still for the height, you want to take out the height completely because IGCSE is not expecting you to do anything. Allow the application to maintain its aspect ratio, so it fits 100%, and that has been done. So we can save that. Let's take away the zoom. Maybe you saw what I did. Let's check on our web browser if it's going to give us what we want. Good. Yeah, the picture is in, and the width has fit 100% of that area. Okay, let's go to the next question. It says now we're inserting B into cell B, the image banner. Okay, so that once again, it fits the width of the cell. Take note of that statement. This is B from our structure. We want to insert an image picture from file. Okay, this is the banner. And I want to give it an alternative text. And please, always, even if this question does not say you should give an appropriate alternative text, it's always advisable. It's better to have an alternative text. For those of you also learning this just for your own skills, because this is necessary in case this image does not load. This text will display. That's what we mean by an alternative text. So where the image cannot load, this text will display what should be in there. All right, I click on that. Then once again, I go to the image, double click on the image, come to the appearance. I want to go in percentage and 100%. Okay, percent. I want to just take this out and click OK. Now let's go closer to see if it has affected what we wanted. Yes, width 100%. We don't want anything about the height. Good. And it's exactly what we wanted. So we can save that. And let's take a look at that on our web page again. Okay. Good. Now it looks as if it's starting, but never mind. Let's just proceed. And just the most important thing is to ensure that the width fits to that page. So let's go on with the next thing. As we populate other things, it will keep adjusting itself. Remember, the dimension of this structure is in percentage. Now we go to for E now. Where was E? E is down here, the last cell. We have a video tag to display this video. Now take note again so that it fits the width of the cell. Now IGCSE is very consistent with this statement because many of the times they either give you an image that is bigger or smaller than the space where you're going to be inserting the text. And it's a very useful tool for those of us who even design websites. It makes it automatically adjust itself, whatever the view, the image automatically adjusts to fit the size of that column. So it's a good lesson you are learning from this. Now it says the video must show the controls, one, and play automatically when the web page opens. Now display an automated text-based error message if the browser does not support the video tag. Okay, how do we do that? Now for video tag, unlike other tags here, it's not something where you can pick an option in expression, but you should take note that video tag, just like audio tag, has 4 lines. We have the first line is the opening video tag, the second line is the source, the third line is the error message, and the fourth line is now the closing video tag. So where do we want to insert that? Let's try and see. So to do that now, sorry, you might have to come to the code interface to do that. So let me go a bit closer so you can see. Let's zoom in. Now this is where we want to insert that. I want to take away the space. It's like a placeholder. Okay, now let me take down and open my video tag. Once you open the video, you're gonna see it. Video tag. Okay, now that's the closing tag. You want to take that closing tag down. Remember I said the first line is video, the second line is the source. Sorry. Okay, enter. The second line is the source. Okay, good. And the third line is going to be the error message. And just have that error for now. I'm going to edit that. Now, the same goes for audio tags also. When you want to insert audio, we have the audio, we have the source, then we have the error and the closing audio file. Okay, audio tag, please. So now, the first thing we want to go with the question, let me zoom out, says the video tag should display this video, meaning that you want to insert this video. That will be in the source. I'll keep alternating the zoom just so you can follow with me closely. So we go to the source here. I want to insert my video src for the source. Once you click on that, it's going to ask where you want to pick the video file from. Click on that. I want to pick it because it's within the same folder, the match. So I pick that video mp4 file, and that is in. Okay. Now, one other thing, when you pick, you need to specify the type. Those two attributes go together. The type is a video file / an mp4. Good. Now that is very important that you specify the video file so the compiler knows what type of file the video is. Now let's go back to the question. We've inserted that. Now fits the width of the cell. How do we do that? You come to the video tag. You want to insert the width, just like we did for the image. It's going to be 100%. Okay, so the width is going to be 100%. And the video must show the controls. So still in the video tag, I want to show the controls. So how to turn on controls. You just control, there it is. Now you want to take away all of this. Okay, can you see me? Let's take it. Can you see what I'm doing? Sorry, not see me here. Okay, now once you take that out, the next thing is that and play automatically. So you want to make it autoplay. So let's go back in there, looking for the attribute autoplay. Okay, that's it. You can take away all of this. Yes, now those are the attributes IGCSE is going to be looking at, meaning that the video is supposed to autoplay once it loads, and it should have the controls. Okay, but let's still finish up on that question. When the web page opens. Now lastly, display an automated error, text-based error message if the browser does not support the video type. So that's why I type in here error. So you could just change your message there and say something like, your browser does not support the video type or video file. That's an error message to, in case the video does not display, what should error message should be displayed in place of it. Just like for the images, remember we did the alternative text, that when the image does not display, the alternative text will display. The same goes for the video. That's what this error message is going to do. So now let's take a look at that on our browser. Okay, here we have our video. There it is. You can see the width, it fits directly exactly the width of the column, and it's playing. We also have our image. So our website is gradually being populated. Doing a good job. Now let's continue on our question. And that's all we are going to insert for now. Okay, so let's apply appropriate alternative text to both still images, which we have done. Now we come over to enter in cell C, question 6, the text. This web page, okay, was created by, okay, now we are going to cell C, where is C from our structure, that's the second one. Sorry. So here we are just below the image. We want to insert the text there. So I could just paste in that text. Yes. Now then on a new line, enter your name, center number, and candidate number. Now in HTML, you don't just go to a new line by just hitting your enter key. If you hit your enter key that way, you can see what's, now this is very helpful. From here, it's going to give you the break. So if you hit your enter key, on this aspect, if you are in the coding interface and you hit your enter key, it's not going to give you a new line. But that's one of the good things about expression. From this point, you hit your enter key, it has created the break tag. And the break tag is a tag that helps to create a new line starts on the next page. So I want to use that. Now it says you should insert your name. Let's have John, center number 234 and 0001. Okay, something like that. Yes. Now it says set this text as style H2. So now the whole text there we want to set as style H2. So make sure you highlight it carefully. Take note, I'm not working on the code. Now, not this. If you do this, you are highlighting the whole cell, but just the text is what you want to highlight. So you stop. Okay, I haven't highlighted this. Then you want to go to styles here. Say set it as H, heading style 2. Good. And that's exactly what has been done. You can see the code H2, opening and the closing tag H2 to the whole text. Can you see that? Do I want to go closer? Take a look at what I mean. We have the opening tag H2, we have the break, we have your name, and then we have the closing tag H2 set there. So that has been done. Then we move over again. It says place in cell D the text from this file. Okay, set the text as paragraph style, and also set the text manhole and expiring as style H1. So we have two tags within that particular insertion at cell D. So let's look for the text. That means we are going to our file. Okay, we want to open this. Okay, let's wait for that to open. Okay, this is what it looks like. Okay, so now this text is at the top, which is supposed to be the heading. Okay, let's copy, highlight everything, and let's go back. Now we are pasting it in cell D. That's just, let's confirm from our structure. Is that where D is? Yes. So D is the next one after C. So we have C, so we are pasting that there. Now I haven't pasted that there. If you take note, let's take a look at this. Did it break? Was the break inserted? Yes, Microsoft Expression has taken note that there is a break, then it has inserted a break. Can you see that? Let's go closer so you can see. You can see the break has already been inserted, taking it to the other line. Now, if you go back to the question, pardon me, question says, okay, set as paragraph style, while we set this as H1. Now, we can't set both paragraph and H1 at the same time because they are both text tags. So rather what we'll do is to set this header as H1. So I want to highlight this. Okay, you want to set that to H1. Can you see that? Good. Then we want to go over here and set the text to, no, not everything. Just go to the end. Go to the end of the text there and highlight down to the first text there and set that as a paragraph. Okay, now you can see the opening paragraph tag and the closing paragraph tag, and here we have the opening H1 and the closing H1 tag. Okay, once that is done, yes, I think we're done with that. Let's save. Let's take a look at our web page again. Let's see what we have. Okay, yes, our web page is gradually populating. We're looking good. Yes, it's a good one. So let's continue with this. And it says open the style sheet. Okay, once we are done with this is all you have to do on the web HTML page. There are other things that maybe in question, other videos when I create. If you look at June or May, we are going to see where we also have the using hyperlink or inserting hyperlinks into web pages into HTML page. But for this question, this is where this ends. So let's quickly go on to the CSS. Now we are opening a CSS file. If you open the style sheet, this in an editor. Okay, so let's go to our source files. It's not part of the files we were told to select. So we want to go back. Okay, here it is. It's a CSS file, so we want to open it in an editor. I would like to open that from here. Let's go to file. Let's open. Now CSS is a cascading style sheet which can be attached to our browser. Okay, to HTML page. Now here we have the CSS file. What are we to do? To add CSS to the style sheet so that it's that your name, center number, and candidate number are set as a comment at the start of the style sheet. Unfortunately, unlike the tags where we have tags that could actually help you populate, for CSS you have to learn how to write these codes. So we go to the beginning. It says at the top of the document. So we have to take this down, come to the top of the document. To insert a comment, you're going to be using the slash asterisk. Then you have the name. That's John, center number 1234 and 0001. Then you close it with asterisk and slash again. And that way, it's anything between these two is a comment line in your CSS. Okay, then we move over to the next one. It says the table is center aligned with within the browser window. Okay, even though it told us it's 90%, how do we make the table center aligned? We were not told to do anything about this body, so I want to leave that body, and we go to the table. So now we want to edit the table tag. Okay, table tag. We use curly brackets here, we don't use the tags like in the HTML document. First, to make it center around the window, you are going to be editing the margin left and the margin right. The margin left determines the distance. Let's take a look at this. Now the margin, this is the margin right, this is the margin left. So whatever you set like this, you might think that because this is set to possibly 2 cm or 2 pixels, but no, because we said by default, the table when it's drawn, it will be aligned to the left. If you do not specify right, it will be aligned to the right. If I wanted this aligned to the right now, my margin left would likely increase and my margin right might be 0 set to or 2. Okay, so let's go back. Now we want it to be center aligned, so that means we want to set both margins to autos. So we go back to there, we say, let me zoom in for you to see better. Okay, so we start with margin, the margin right, set to auto, then use a semicolon to differentiate when you are done with that particular attribute. Then we go to the next one again, margin left, set it to auto. Now with this and with semicolon, you are sure that your table will align to the center. Okay, there, I want to save that. Okay, now let's continue. Let me take away the zoom, sorry. I haven't done that first one. The second one says all table elements have the space between the borders set to 10 pixels. That means border spacing. The border spacing, in a way we can actually guess what we are talking about here is still within the table tag. So we want to go into the table element there. Okay, after the semicolon, you can hit your enter key. I want border spacing. Okay, if you scroll through, you're going to see, okay, there it is, border spacing should be set to 20 pixels, I guess. Let's confirm that. Yes, 20 pixels. Right, for clarity and for easy reading sake, I want to move this, okay, to be aligned there. Remember, when you finish inserting the value, then you use your semicolon to close that. Okay, then we go to the next part of the video. Question now says, we've done this, we've done this. Let's go to the third one. Says styles H1 and H2 use this font. We have the first font is copper black, the second font is impact, and if this is not available, uses the default serif font. Now this is combining more than one font, is what we call the font family in CSS. So we want to be setting that attribute font family, but it's going to be going for style H1 and H2. Sorry, I think I've omitted one. It says all table cells. Yes, I did omit this. All table cells have the padding set to 20 pixels. Now when we are dealing with table data or table row, that's TR, the table itself goes into the table tag, but table cells, we're talking about the TD tag. So in this situation, the cell padding is going into the TD tag, and it says they all have padding of set to 20 pixels. So padding is actually like having the spaces around each of the contents of a cell. What space do you want from the border of that cell to the content of the cell? So I want to open TD tag, TD, then my curly brackets. Okay, move this in. Say padding. Actually, to call up this drop down, just hit your space bar and it's going to come with the options. Now, supposing we were giving dimension for padding bottom, padding left, padding right, and top, you might want to use them. But since it's just one particular dimension we are giving for the padding, just go with padding, and you want to set that to 20 pixels. Let me confirm that. Yes, set to 20 pixels. Okay, I think the border spacing was 10 pixels. I made a mistake there. Please let's just go back to fix that. Border spacing, it's always good to read over your work. It's 10 pixels while the padding is 20 pixels. Okay, once I'm done with that, then I can take out bring the curly brackets there. Okay, very good. Now let's go back to the question. We've done this, we've done pixel cell padding. Now the style H1 and H2, now they are combined. So because we have two tags here, we're going to be separating them with a comma. They are both text tags. Then we open a curly bracket there. Now I told you that for this is the font family we are going to be using. Space, you have your font family. Okay, good. Now the first font family there says copper black. And when you are using a font name that has a space, the rule says you should place it in between in between quotation marks. Beg your pardon. So we have that because it has a space. So I'm going to be placing this. Sorry for those who view the zoom in and zoom out might be disturbing. Sorry, let's copy that. Okay, and I paste that. Alright, so I can have this here, and I want to close the quotation mark. Okay, then you separate it by a comma, not a semicolon this time, because it's a family, it's continuing. We still want more fonts there, so you're going to be separating them with a comma. Now let's go and see what the next font is. It says impact. Okay, I want to type impact there. Impact, comma, and the last one is the serif. It says the default serif font. So I'm going to be looking for the default serif font. When it's not there, you will just type it there, serif, and then you close with a semicolon. Okay, ensure that your spelling is correct. So I have my default serif font. Please let me zoom out. Okay, sorry for this, those who might be disturbing. I'm done with that. I want to close this, Let's go to the next question. Still on style H1 and H2, so that means I'm not done with that. It says, now the style H1 and H2 are center aligned. That means the text, because they are text tags, they should be center aligned. So we want to align the text. Allow me to zoom in again so you can see. Okay, there we go. So let's take that to the next line. I want the text aligned, so I'm looking for text aligned. There it is, text aligned, and I want it to be at the center. Beautiful. Then, sorry, don't forget, you should have your semicolon at the end of each of that. Good. Now we go back to our question. Next question that says, styles H1 and H2 have a font color with a hexadecimal blue component of 99, no red or green component. Okay, for the hexadecimal component, it's usually written in RGB. RGB, what I mean RGB, it's usually R, then we have the G and something like this. So meaning we first start with the hashtag. When you want to write your components, 2 digits always represent each of these colors. 2 digits for the red, 2 digits for the green, and 2 digits for the blue, the hexadecimal component. So if you look at this question, it says hexadecimal blue component of 99. We don't want no red and green components. So to turn off this is going to be 00 representing red, 00 representing green, then 99 representing blue. So let's do that. Let's go quickly. If you understand that, let's go and apply it. So still in H1 and H2. Once again, I want to zoom in for you to see. I wish there was a way to enlarge the font here. So I'm going down. I want the color. Now this is a text, so it's just going to pick directly the color, not this. We want to use hexadecimal component. We said for the red, 00, for the green, 00, and the blue, which is 99. Then we end with a semicolon. Okay, let's go back again. Now lastly, not the last thing, the next thing says style H1 is 18 points high, while style H2 is 14 points. Now, these two are not combined, unlike the way it has been combined for the last 3. Here it is separated. So we have to separate these components, and let's place them separately. So we have H1 now, just H1. That's the font size we're talking about now. So it's going to be font size of 18 points, I think. 10 points. Yes, while for H2 we have 14 points. So I'm going to close that and go out. So I'm going to pick this up. Okay. Now for H2, I want to go there, and we have the text. Sorry, not the text, the font size, please. Font size of 14 points. And the semicolon. Then I want to bring this up and also bring this up. Yes, very well done. Okay, haven't done that. Let's make sure that your styles does not contain HTML. Yes, we don't have any HTML tags. They are all CSS, cascading style tags, or what? A scripting language, and it's okay as efficient as possible. Now the efficiency there speaks about where we combine this particular tag. In a situation, instead of writing H1 and having all this repeat again, H2 repeat the same thing, if we can combine where we have the same components or the same properties, we combine them and use them together. That's where the efficiency comes in. Okay, if you are done, I now say save the style sheets in your folder. Okay, in cascading style sheet format as the CSS. Now as this. Okay, we have that. Let's copy that, followed by your center number, candidate number, for example, this. Okay, so let's look at, to save this now, let's go to our file, save as. We want to make sure we're in a folder, M24 folder. Okay, there we are. Yes, so we want to paste this with our name, center number. So for me, I'm going to be having CT1234 underscore 00001. Okay, and that is saved as a CSS file. Beautiful. And once you've done that, you take a screenshot of your style sheet and place this in your evidence document. Make sure that the file name and all contents are clearly visible. Where's the file name? I can see the file name here. So my screenshot must show this file name and every content. So let's take a screenshot of that. Okay, so I'm going to be taking the screenshot. All right, all contents are fully visible. And let's go to my evidence document. So this is my evidence 2. Okay, that's going to be evidence 2. And I'm going to drop that there. Okay, I can see the file name. It shows my center number and candidate number, and all details are clearly displayed there. Okay, now the next thing on the question now says, attach the style sheet to your web page. Okay, we've saved this. Now let's come back to our web pages on this tab. We want to attach the style sheet. To attach, you come down here on the attach section. You say attach style sheets. It's going to ask you where is the style sheet coming from. You want to browse to get that from the same folder. Here's the style sheet which was saved. Okay, and I want to attach the style sheet. Now, I want to attach the style sheet. If you go up, you're going to see it's going to insert it in the head section as a link. Let me show you close up close. You can see the link, the href, that's the style sheet name, is the style sheet, and type is CSS. Okay, so it has inserted that. Like I said, you might not need to bother about the meta tag because it's not affecting what you are doing. And since question does not say anything about the meta tag removing or inserting, you don't have to really bother about that. But if, just to be on the safe side, if you want to take it out, you're free, you can just take it out. Okay, and let's save that. Now let's go and take a look at what it looks like on our web page. Here we are. Okay, and that has been applied. Now take a look at this. Wow, you've done a great job. If you've come this far, then you've done a good work. Now we have all images fully visible. You can see our cell padding is being affected. You can see the design for the text color, the blue component, center line for H1 and H2. You can see the cell padding, okay, and the spacing in between each of within the tables. Okay, all affected, and you've done a good job. Okay, now let's go back to a question. Now we've attached this to your web page. Save your web page. Okay, we're going to take a copy of your HTML source and place in your evidence document. Now, some of my students do make mistake with this. They have this mindset that you need to take a screenshot of this. No, for your HTML source, they don't need a screenshot. Rather, it says take a copy, meaning you have to highlight everything, copy it, all what you have written as your code now. Just click within there, copy everything, and go to your evidence document. You want to place that as evidence 3. So I have evidence 3. Okay, just paste the code directly like that. Exactly, that's what you need to do for that particular instruction. Then we go back. Now it says take a copy of your HTML source. Okay, we've done that place exactly. Now the next thing says display your web page in a browser. If necessary, resize it so that the entire web page can be seen. All the text can be easily read. Take note, and the address bar is fully visible. Take a screenshot showing your web page in the browser. Place this in your evidence document. So here we are web page. And you want to take a screenshot. Take notes showing the whole, that's the address bar. And now looking at this, it's actually bigger than the normal page. So you might want to take a screenshot twice. I'm going to do something like this. My first screenshot should show the name of the address bar and the full content, every part of the web page. Okay, yes, and I want to go to my evidence document, drop that as evidence 4. Evidence 4. Okay, drop that image, and you want to go back, possibly do another screenshot of the remaining parts of the window. Never mind if it's not perfect, but just make sure they can see both sides to be sure that you actually did it and you completed it. It's fully displayed, because the grade, those who are grading should be able to see that this showed on your browser. Okay, so I go back and I want to paste that. To make it easier for me, I prefer to take both to a new page, so you might want to just hit this next page. Okay, and maybe close up the space there. Okay, good. So now that looks more like it. You can see it's combined together, even though not perfectly. At least they know that it's longer than a page. That's why I said if you have to reduce the page. But now we can see the browser, can see the address bar, and every part of it is fully visible, which is exactly what they need. Okay, let's go back to a question. Right, haven't done that. Next thing is to print your evidence documents. Remember, after all of this, the last is to print your evidence documents. You can print your web page, obviously, but to print your evidence documents before we go to the next, which is going to be the spreadsheet. So in the next video, we are going to see how we're going to work with that and print on the spreadsheet. So if you've enjoyed what you have seen, this is all on the website authoring. Basically, it's not a very difficult thing. If you know how to use your tags and your CSS, you're going to find it very easy to go around with all of this. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed what you've watched, please subscribe to this channel, hit the like button, and then hit the bell so that when I post another video, you can catch up with this. So till then, see you in my next video.